So, Birds of Prey has officially flopped in the opening weekend. How can I say this? Because it has a worldwide release, meaning every country got to see it Thursday for advanced preview and Friday for global release. So, this movie flopped, but how is it flopping when everyone that got to see it early was saying this movie was breaking the fourth wall, fun, non-stop carnage, beautifully shot, all this kind of stuff. Yet the movie is flopping everywhere. Now, this movie hasn't got the biggest budget, but oh wait, they had to do reshoots. So the actual budget for this movie is higher than what people are actually saying, because you're not taking in marketing into consideration and the reshoots and the fact that the second weekend it's open, box office always hit off hard. But it still might make its money overall based on the fact that there isn't really much else coming out in February that's going to inspire everyone to go and see it. So what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any videos. At the 100,000 subscriber mark, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro and Xbox One X or a Switch with any game. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, let me know down below. Did you love this movie? This movie is pretty cool. So I'm not talking about the movie. We're just talking about why did it flop. Okay, we're talking about numbers because everyone, it's got a really good Rotten Tomatoes score, which is kind of interesting. Really good Rotten Tomatoes score, critic and audience. But then what you got to compare it to is Joker. Joker got smashed by the media saying it was going to cause mass murders and like all them kind of things, and that didn't really happen. And what Joker did is it really smashed it at box office to the point where it's winning every single award, and Joker's probably going to win an Oscar, and that is R-rated. So the problem is, what is the audience? No one knows what the audience is for this movie. The marketing was all over the place. No one knew who it's aimed at. So on Rotten Tomato now, I guess you could say critic score is 80%. The audience score is 83%. But it's only opening weekend, so it doesn't really matter. Well, actually, it does matter because, like we say, first weekend normally smashes. It's not going to be like EndGame. It's not going to keep blowing up. This is going to like spiral down. So then we come to the Joker movie, Warner Bros. Previous movie that made 1.1 billion, right? And then you look at the kind of the critic score, if you like. But let's be honest, guys, most of these critics aren't real critics. 68%. Yeah, the critics have given it a much higher score for Birds of Prey, saying it's such a great movie. 88% audience scores. So there is a massive media bias when it comes to these kind of things. We get it. You like Margot Robbie, etc. Cool. We get it. Then we look at the actual numbers, okay? So this movie is pretty short. So Birds of Prey failed to take home at the box office with a prediction of 33 million, despite stellar reviews. Okay, this is the kind of the real factual bit here. Stellar reviews. Generally, you get invited to press screeners, premieres and stuff because they want you to say, this movie is the best. I mean, before it came out, some people said, yeah, I'd compare it to Deadpool, and then it comes out and the people that really review things properly are like, yeah, it's all right, it's nothing special. So let's go on. The fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn is yet to meet studios' expectations, with likely coming under $45 million the opening weekend. So it took roughly 13 million on Friday, which includes 4 million from the Thursday night previews. Damn. That is pretty low. Okay, so this was posted a few days ago. This puts it on track for $33 million opening weekend. It's far from a disaster, but the film obviously has still time to recover, but some are starting to believe that the R-rated may prove the biggest hurdle. So the problem is, like I say, guys, the audience. Who is the audience, okay? This is a 15, okay? Harley Quinn, most famously known for being the Joker's boyfriend, being affiliated with Joker in the Arkham games. It's a 15. So, the teenage girls, the young kids and stuff that cosplay as Harley Quinn, you can't take a child to watch a 15 with you. I'm pretty sure you're not, maybe you're allowed to do that, but it's not like someone under the age of 15 can walk in and go see it. So then it goes on to say that regardless of the Birds of Prey had a relatively small production cost of $84 million, so a soft opening won't necessarily hurt it. Now, that's factually incorrect because they had extensive reshoots because the original storyline was deemed as too edgy, so they had to rewrite a bunch of stuff and then reshoot a bunch of stuff. So you're looking more like $120 million, so to speak. So then we go on to this website where it says Birds of Prey writer explains how she and Margot Robbie approached Harley Quinn. So the problem with this movie is Margot Robbie was one of the writers on the movie. She's not a writer, she's an actor. I think she's a pretty decent actor, but the problem is she's got a producer credit. So she's got a producer credit on this. So it just seems like it's a bit all over the place with it going back and forwards. So it is really interesting. So then we go to boxoffice.com, which predicts what it's going to make. So on Saturday, Warner Bros. Reports this morning, the Birds of Prey posted $13 million on the opening night Friday in exclusive of the $4 million, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, the result comes well under expectations of the pre-release of their tracking. According to several sources, we're looking at $40 to $45 million. Friday earnings coming short of Shazam's $20 million opening, so it's made less money than Shazam, but Shazam had legs. I don't really think this is going to have legs long term. It's not really got much rivalry. I mean, Sonic's come out this month, and we got Fantasy Island from Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures, but the biggest problem is the audience doesn't really know who it's targeted. Like, you could literally, I've said to a few people over the last couple of days, have you seen the Birds of Prey movie? And they're like, what's that? I've not heard of it. And then you say, Harley Quinn movie. I'd like, oh, yeah, I've not watched it yet, but I want to watch that because I like Harley Quinn. So most people watch this. It's a glorified Harley Quinn movie. So as of the time of recording this, it is stating that it's got an opening weekend of $34 million in 4,236 locations. So this is a global launch. It's not like other movies where they do stagnant launches on different days. It's a global launch, and it's not pretty good numbers. Obviously, it's number one box office this weekend because it's just come out and everyone wanted to see it. But guys, it's doing pretty bad. I mean, it does say Bad Boys for Life is second on this list, but that's been out for 4 weeks now. And then you've got other stuff like Jumanji, 5 million. That's been out for 9 weeks. So The Gentleman, 3 weeks, 4.3. So overall, you could see a massive drop, massive drop. Because if you look at Bad Boys for Life, it's done a total of 165 million, it's said, but that's 4 weeks in, and 11 million, which is nearly 33% of what this did opening weekend, and this is 4 weeks in from Sony Columbia. So it's not looking very good. They don't know what their target demographic is, and the marketing really smashed this movie massively. And I think the early reactions from all these critics and bloggers, whatever that means, I don't really understand what that means. But if you know what a critic or blogger is, let me know down below, because you see the reactions from these critics and stuff for the initial reaction. Then you see the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's like, hang on a minute, you literally said it's a very good movie, and then you give it a 3 out of 5. If you're going to say it's a cracking movie, so good, the best movie in the DCE freaking U, and then you give it like a 7 out of 10. I mean, if I say it's a very good movie, it's like a 9 or 8, not a 7, not a 3 out of 5. So it's very interesting. It just feels like a lot of the reactions have actually hit this hard because people are pandering to the movie, where realistically the demographic is teenage kids, I guess, because all girls cosplay as Harley Quinn, and it was titled Birds of Prey. Not many people know who the Birds of Prey are outside the comic book world, and it just seems like it was a confusing movie for most people. And yeah, people enjoyed it, but they enjoyed it and it was forgettable. So opening weekend, Friday 30 million, opening weekend of 33 million. Not so good. I mean, yeah, it's technically getting smashed by, I guess you say, Bad Boys for Life still in a way. This weekend they hit 12 million, and it's been out a few weeks now, and yeah, it's not doing great. Okay, obviously it's not doing as bad as Dolittle, that it's doing pretty terrible. I mean, I expect this movie will maybe make its money back, but it's not going to have a massive appeal like Joker had. It's very confusing for anyone where the demographic is for this movie, because they've marketed it like a Birds of Prey movie when realistically it's a glorified Margot Robbie Harley Quinn movie, and their direction is a bit all over the place. It's a very different kind of movie, and the approach to this movie is very different to the role they were on with Shazam, with Joker. They've kind of hit a massive hurdle, this movie, and they've tried to be edgy, go R-rated, go all in, but I don't really think it should have been R-rated in the sense, because most of Harley Quinn's fans are young people, so I think they've hit the complete wrong target with this. So it's very, let me know down below, guys. It's very interesting to find out what was actually the motivation behind this movie and everything. So the writer spoke with CRB.com and other publications around Hollywood, and she had a lot of stuff to say. So according to the writer, was tasked with the entirely different kind of character with Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. Harley got a completely different voice to anyone, she said. But that's also the fun of it. She got to change her voice. Getting to work with Margot Robbie for such a long time was so awesome. We both got to get inside her head to a point where it was kind of fun. While we were in development, people were asking us questions like, maybe she could do this, maybe she could do that, maybe she could hit that person. And we were like, Harley would never hit that person. She'd kill this other person. But she'd never hit that person. It was fun living in Harley's head, because she's a wild ride, and the hope is that we got to make the movie into a wild ride. It's definitely a wild ride. Reflecting on her time at the project, Margot Robbie and the rest of the female-led production said it was such an honor and so exciting, and it was also really nicely organic. There's nothing organic about this, sorry. It just sort of happened because we all liked each other. Margot and I just met and got drunk on Wednesday morning, and we were like, this is perfect. Director felt so cool and right. And Sue, as our producer, it was like we were trying to hire only women. We were just all drawn to each other. It was pretty fun, top to bottom, this movie. According to Hudson, the film that she and Robbie Yang ended up making is very close to what they initially intended. It's fun, she explained. Things change, obviously, it's a process. Everything goes through so many different cycles, but weirdly the heart of it and the core of it is really similar to where it began. We also try to do something wild, weird, bold, risky, and strange and different, and I hope we achieve that. The small story arcs have changed, but the heart and the essence is the same. So essentially they're just saying they try to do something completely different. And apparently the director for Birds of Prey is poised to have an even more important role in the future of the DCEU, having been potentially brought up to pen the script for the up-and-coming Flash movie directed by It Chapter 2, Andy Muschietti. Guys, I really hope that she she doesn't pen the Flash movie, because this variation of Harley Quinn isn't really the variation of Harley Quinn that we should have got based on the marketing for this actual movie, but we'll just have to see how box office numbers do over the next week or so. But it's not looking very likely, and it bombed massively in the opening weekend. $30 million for a movie that's about Harley Quinn. Really? I mean, how? I mean, everyone that knows Joker knows Harley Quinn, but it's called Birds of Prey, not Harley Quinn with Birds of Prey. It's just a very weird movie. I mean, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. They should have called it Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey, and then a lot of more people would have understood what it was about. But anyway, guys, let me know. What is the reason this movie bombed after all these people with their verification ticks and these celebrities gave it such a positive review? Are the reviewing systems done? Should we just not bother with people's early reactions? Because realistically, there's an expectation. It's got a very high Rotten Tomato score, but then it's literally not even got an average opening box office. Like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll get you another video very soon. Get ya later.